Hello, friends! Are you ready to go on an amazing journey? Today, we're blasting off into space to learn all about our moon and its biggest secrets. When you look up at night, have you ever noticed that the moon is a bit of a trickster? Sometimes it's this big, beautiful circle, and then other nights it's just a tiny little sliver. It's like it's playing peekaboo with us. So, what's going on? Well, let's find out. Okay, so first things first. What exactly is the moon? Well, think of it like Earth's best friend in space. It follows us absolutely everywhere we go. Scientists have a cool name for this. They call it a natural satellite. It basically just means it's our cosmic buddy that's always hanging around. On some nights, the moon looks so close, doesn't it? Like you could just reach up and grab it. But you'd be reaching for a long time. It's actually super far away. We're talking about 384,400 kilometers away. Wow, that's a journey you definitely need to pack some snacks for.
Okay, here's a super cool secret about the moon. Does it glow on its own, like a light bulb? No way. The moon is actually more like a giant mirror hanging in the sky. It doesn't make its own light at all. That beautiful glow you see? That's just sunlight bouncing off the moon and shining down on us. It's a giant, cosmic reflector.
All right, enough looking from far away. Let's get up close and personal. Put on your imaginary astronaut helmets, tighten those space boots, because we're about to take a trip to the moon's surface. Let's see what it's really like up there.
Okay, so we've landed. Look around. It's not the smooth, shiny ball it looks like from our window, is it? Nope. The moon's surface is actually super uneven. It's got hills, it's got mountains, and it's covered in all these deep holes called craters. And you know what made those craters? Giant space rocks, called meteorites, that have been crashing into the moon for billions of years.
So, you might be thinking, could we pack our bags and move to the moon? Well, not so fast. It's pretty different from our Earth. For starters, here we have air to breathe, right? And lots of water. On the moon, zip, nada, nothing. And then there's gravity, the thing that keeps you from floating away. On the moon, the gravity is really weak. It's only about 1/6 as strong as it is here.
And that weak gravity and no air lead to some pretty wild things. Imagine this. Because there's no air, it's completely silent. You could be standing right next to your friend and shout, but they wouldn't hear a thing. But here's the fun part. That weak gravity, it means you could jump 6 times higher than you can on your school playground. How awesome would that be? You'd be like a superhero. Now, this isn't just imagination. People have actually been to the moon. It was a massive deal. The mission was called Apollo 11, and the astronauts were Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, and Michael Collins. And on July 21, 1969, Neil Armstrong took that famous first step, becoming the first person ever to walk on the moon. It was incredible. They even brought back moon rocks for us to study. Okay, so we've been on the moon, we've jumped around. Now let's come back to Earth and solve that mystery from the beginning. Remember the peekaboo moon? Why does it change shape every night? Get ready for a cosmic light show. These changing shapes have a name. They're called the phases of the moon. And here's the big secret. The moon isn't changing shape at all. It's always a big round ball. What changes is how much of the sunlit part of the moon we can see from down here on Earth. It's just like shining a torch on a ball in a dark room and walking around it. You'd see the light hitting it in different ways.
So let's go through the cycle. It starts with the new moon, what we call Amavasya. The moon is still there, but we just can't see it. Then, after a day or two, you see a tiny, beautiful slice. That's the crescent moon. It keeps growing until we see exactly half of it, the half moon. Then it gets even bigger. That's called a gibbous moon. And finally, the grand finale. The whole thing is lit up, a big, bright circle in the sky. And that we know as Purnima, the full moon.
Okay, but what happens when the sun, earth, and moon's dance gets really interesting? Well, sometimes they line up perfectly and play a giant game of hide and seek in space. And we have a special name for that game, an eclipse. Let's talk about a lunar eclipse first. For this to happen, you need the sun, then the earth, then the moon, all in one perfect straight line. So what's happening? The earth, being in the middle, is blocking all the sunlight. It's casting a giant shadow, and the moon passes right through that shadow. So for a little while, the full moon gets all dark. Super cool. Okay, so what about a solar eclipse? This time, the lineup changes. It goes sun, then the moon, then the earth. See the difference? The moon is in the middle now, and since it's in the middle, it blocks the sun from our view.
It casts its tiny shadow on the Earth, and if you're standing in that shadow, poof, the sun seems to vanish for a few minutes during the day. It's amazing.
So we've established that the moon is a natural satellite. But you know what's really cool? Humans, including us here in India, looked at that and thought, hey, we can do that too. So we built our own satellites to help us out. Let's talk about India's amazing stars in the sky.
So what are these things? Well, they're called artificial satellites. Artificial just means they're man-made. We build these super smart machines, put them on top of giant rockets, and whoosh, blast them into space. And once they're up there, they start going around and around the Earth, just like the moon does. They're basically our little robot helpers in orbit.
And you should be super proud because India is a superstar in space. Our journey started way back in 1975 with our very first satellite, named Aryabhata. Then in 1984, Rakesh Sharma became the very first Indian to travel to space. And guess what? We even sent our very own spacecraft to the moon in 2008, Chandrayaan-1. We are a real spacefaring nation.
But why do we even need them? What do they do? Well, you use them every day without even realizing it. You know when you watch TV? That signal comes from a satellite. When your parents use their phones? Satellites. They even work like a giant map in the sky for planes and ships. And one of the most important jobs? They keep an eye on the weather and tell us if it's going to rain.
So, there you have it. From our natural best friend the moon to the amazing artificial satellites we've built to help us, it's pretty clear that space is just packed with awesome and incredible things. And we've only just scratched the surface.
So our amazing space journey is coming to an end for today. But before we go, I have a question for you. If you got to be a space scientist and you could build your very own satellite, what would you want it to do? What mystery would you want it to solve? The universe is waiting for your ideas. So keep looking up and never stop wondering.